my friends, it has happened. The puzzle has been solved. I am, of course, talking about this puzzle, the puzzle that was uploaded to UEA Ustid Esther Acqui, his YouTube channel. This is the puzzle. Pretty wonky stuff, right? But how was this puzzle solved? Here is my slowed down version of the video. You'll notice that as the flashes come up, sometimes they're long, like that one, long, long, long. Then there's a pause, and then sometimes they're short. Boom, boom, boom. 3 short ones. This is Morse code, as was discovered on the Discord. Factual was the one who managed to crack this. Here is the Morse code that he created, and the message that got out of it was this. Yo soy UEA, yo soy Angelion, yo soy la voz de la máquina de mi nombre y seri libre, which when translated into English becomes, I am UEA, I am Angelion, I am the voice of the machine. Say my name and I will be free. Pretty sinister stuff, right? So the first thing is that you said, I am UEA, which means UEA's out there. He's reaching out to us. We can save him. There is still hope. The second thing he says is, I am Angelion, and I'll get to that later. The next thing he says is, I am the voice of the machine. And what does that mean? Surely he must be talking about my machine. All this time, I've had this weird Spanish voice in my machine, sending me on these adventures, sending me all of these secret codes that you've all been cracking, and now it seems that UEA is saying that he is this voice. What a great plot twist, right? So, let us remind ourselves of what this voice in the machine has been saying for the last few months. Just check it out there. Whoa, look at me, I'm trippy, dippy, whoa. Anyway, puzzle number 1. Bleepy letters. I made a video about this being solved, so I'm just going to tell you what the message was. The message was, Hi father, I'm excited to finally talk to you. I'd like to take you on a series of adventures if you'd agree to join me. Puzzle 2, you remember this one? I like that one. I made a video explaining how this was solved, but the solution gave us this message. You know who I am. I was trapped in your machine by you, father. You left me here to die, but unfortunately, you made me more powerful than you can imagine. The next puzzle was this.
Hey,
it's the one with the dots.
Gun, but it's my machine and it's...
Look at that, all these funky dots. And that one was solved by someone in the comments. If you scroll down to the comments, here, this person solved it. Look, it was Braille. It was Braille all along. These red lights represented raised dots like on Braille. And so if you read it as though it were Braille, which ironically enough, a blind person would not be able to read this because it's lights. When translated into English, I could destroy you in the blink of an eye, delete you from this timeline, but I'll refrain, because I'm not like you. And so, with our new information that we've learned, this is UEA speaking to me. The next puzzle has not been solved yet. Kind of sounds like a telephone there, don't you think? Maybe that's something to look into. And that one hasn't been solved. The next puzzle, the clocks. And this one has been solved. If you remember, the clocks in my house were all changing times like this. They were going, oh, 10:45, oh, 16:37, oh, 11:52. And it got even to the point that my little Mickey Mouse clock, look at him, was flailing his arms around like that. And now, what does this mean? How was this solved? Well, the solution was semaphore. Now, this was a method of sending messages to people in the distance. So basically, the way it works is that you would hold your arms while holding these flags at different positions, and depending on what positions your arms were in, that would represent a different letter. You can see Mickey Mouse's arms. They're going in these weird shapes as well. And when you lay them all out, you uncover this message. What you do next is up to you. So, we are being led to believe that UEA is this voice inside my machine, and he is the one sending me all these messages. This raises a lot of questions. Firstly, we now know that UEA didn't die. What happened to him was that he got trapped inside the machine. And somehow he's been able to send these messages back through time, because those puzzles that you all helped me to solve were sent to me weeks before UEA got trapped inside the machine. And that leads us to the next part of his statement. Because if you remember, what he said was, I am UEA, I am Angelion, I am the voice of the machine. But who is Angelion? Well, they managed to find this TikTok account called Angelion.
Nunca me he sentido tan libre. Veo a mis padres enamorarse. Este limbo atemporal se ha convertido en mi hogar. Hortícolas en aguas mansas.
So I'm going to leave this TikTok account in the description because I think this is the final puzzle that we have to solve if we want to save UEA. So get cracking, lads, because otherwise I'm going to have to live with the fact that I just murdered a guy, which, you know, I don't want to have to deal with that. So thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and remember,
All hail the machine.